So, what are we going to cover today? Because I got ghost stories.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of everything.
Remix of the beat.
Welcome to the show. Welcome. This is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. And man, how is everybody doing today? Everybody. That means the whole world. You know, whether you're having a good day or a bad day, hey, I'm here to brighten it up for you. Man, today we are continuing with part 2 of part 1 with Mr. Robert Standing Eagle Marshall from New Mexico. A very interesting guy, man, that we, you guys remember, we had a deep discussion about his life. And so we're going to continue with that discussion. And with that being said, my friend Irene is feeling a little sick today, so she's not going to yell at me. But instead, we got Joe to yell at me instead. You know, we always got to have a backup when somebody's yelling at me. Quick shout out to everybody on all the different platforms that are out there tonight. Welcome to the show. And man, I'm eager to see what this young man. First of all, we're going to talk about that foot situation, what he got going on with that. And then after that, we're going to jump right into the show. So, hey, Robert, how's the foot going, man? How's things going with the foot?
Well, my journey with the foot 40 years ago was on a jump, and we landed in an area that had all of this sharp gravel, and it injured both of my feet. But my left foot, the big toe, immediately a couple of weeks after that started wandering underneath. The second toe started bending, and so did the third one. So they did surgery on it, and that was where I got the bone infection that I think I told you about the last time. So
right
here it is 40 years later, my left foot starts showing the same shit that my right foot started showing the same shit that my left foot did 40 years later. And also Valentine's Day, almost to the week, the bug that caused the bone infection in my left foot came back, just like they said that it might do it. So it's been interesting.
I can imagine. Hey, have they normally medical doctors have?
And that's my wife, Liz.
Hi, Liz. How you doing?
Hi, Liz.
You know, most doctors have a name for this. What is the name called of this that you got going on?
The one thing that I can tell you from that infection, somebody from NASA showed up at the hospital when they sent off a sample, of what it was that was in there. And then somebody showed up from a company that became Pfizer. And the next thing I know, I had 3 treatments. The first one was a bag that was about maybe 8 ounces that was yellow. They said, we're going to give you 3 treatments. This is a nasty mother, and we've got to kill it now. And I asked him, well, what is it you're going to treat me with? And he's going, we've got this concoction that we developed in case the astronauts brought something bad back.
Oh, geez.
So the first day was that stuff on a slow drip. Then the following day was a bigger bag, and it was kind of caramel, almost semi-transparent. They had that in one arm and this big thing that looked like a gallon running in my other arm. And the whole while that was going on, my foot was reopened, and I was breeding this crap out of the what was left of the bone, because it had literally ate a quarter of the bone away. And I had to do this because if I didn't, they were going to medically retire me out of the service. And so I was on this stuff that was called ceftriaxone for 8 weeks. And then for the rest of the year, I was on pills. But they told me that this bug was an insidious bastard and it may come back. Sure hell it did, but 40 years later, it reared its ugly head. Yeah.
Interesting. Before we actually get started, we're going to go back to part 2 of your first podcast. And Joe doesn't know much about your history. And those of you that are in the chat, if you guys,
You're echoing on my end, and I'm only picking up like every other word. And you're freezing on my screen.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, they're fucking with me on this end.
Yeah, so we're going to go back and we're going to tell the world a little bit what you've done over your years and give, a little update for those of you that are joining us, what you've done in your career in the military. So I'm going to turn it over to you and shoot your shot. Go for it, man. The floor is all yours.
Oh, tell your audience who I am.
Yes.
Okay. I am Robert C. Marshall, Master Sergeant. I was Air Force combat photojournalist, and I served from Vietnam era to Desert Storm. I'm a Black Native American. My name you see on the screen is Standing Eagle. And boy, did I ever earn that name when I was a kid. I was embedded with Special Operation Forces. My global mobility code is 846-000-2433-234, A team number 2. I was temporarily assigned to SEAL teams 3 and 5. Once with Delta, you name the group, I wound up being embedded with them. One of my jobs was guiding bombs using my camera. And if anybody wants to look up the day that we called our baptism in fire was Jonestown. We were boots on the ground at Jonestown. The sick joke in our office was the senator could have taken 3 of us with him instead of just the civilian camera crew. And when they had that shootout at the airport, the body count would have turned out a lot different. So, hey, we're all weapons trained. We have to be able to be inserted with an ops group and know all the weapons they use.
Who hears everything.
So we were not just another pretty face, even though we were called the package. You would go out with a fire team of 5 and you were number 6, and they kept you in the middle of the group. Would come either by helicopter or we would parachute in, hike into where we needed to go, find the target. I would laser it, take a picture before for confirmation, take the picture as I call the strike in, and my camera would guide the bomb. And then we were gone. And then we were gone. I think
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
one of the guys in Desert Storm said that Saddam Hussein had a bounty on our heads because our teams fucked him up. I think I told you guys. I think I told you guys the last time that I was on the system of using this bomb that the Rangers called a smart dummy because it was only 100 pounds. It had nothing but cement and rebar inside of it. It had a laser guidance on it. It would be dropped from 50,000 feet, and it would hit an object with 1 million pounds per square inch. Literally, I could take out a tank without destroying anything else around it. However, if there was personnel, like, it's support troops and that nearby, within 150 yards, they'd be done. But this was this was because the bad guys were putting ACAC installations, rocket launchers, things like this on mosques, on the roof of hospitals, schools, and we were trained in where to hit it, that it would do the barest minimum damage to where it was sitting, but take it out. So not everything was super horrendous blasts. It was just punch through and it's done.
She's doing a wonderful job. We're very
So
That's crazy.
What's up, nephew? What's going on with you?
look, you have to understand something, that the weapons lab projects that I was on was not all of the whiz bang stuff like Star Wars, even though we were doing that. Because I told you last time about TRW, but we were working on things that would cause the least amount of collateral damage, plus things that would do collateral damage, the likes of which you can't even fathom. Okay, I was on the first test of the Moab that they call the mother of all bombs. We were 5 miles away and the blast wave hit us.
Wow. That's wild, right?
It was set to go off 100 feet above ground, because that way, for field effect, it is horrendous. We had to wear blast glasses like for a nuke test, because if you look at it when it goes off, you'll be blind. It always had a mushroom cloud, but no radiation. This is the kind of shit that we work with. And I was on those tests. I even have a fragment of it. the one that if I was standing where my camera and everything was, I've been dead. And the guy that developed it, he was standing next to me. I had pulled him down to the ground after I laid my camera down and moved back, and this piece of metal this long came whirling out of the air and stuck in the ground where I was standing. And he just looked down at it like this, looked at me, and just nodded, go ahead and take it. Then he reaches in his lab coat, pulls out a slide rule, reaches in the other pocket, takes out a notepad, and then he goes, "That was fucking unexpected," and just calmly walked over to a truck and started doing more calculations.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
And when we came back 3 months later, yeah, that one shook us to our bones. We have got some interesting toys. This bomb is made to penetrate the ground 300 feet and then go off. So you got a bunker and you got something that goes off with, half the yield of a Hiroshima bomb, but it's not a nuke. Go figure.
That's interesting. That is very interesting, dude. Like, it's nice to know where my tax dollars are going.
Well, what else do you do when, there's predators everywhere? I know we are too, but I like it here better than any place else. And I've seen too many other place else's.
Interesting. Interesting. Let's jump a little forward into your contact with Area 51 and what you did a little bit over there.
Yeah. I think I mentioned last time that it seemed like there were way too many coincidences and things going on in my life when I got into the service that was aiming me to Area 51. Everything, from the UFOs and everything that we were catching on our recon cameras when I was in Germany, to being put on Project Blue Book instead of going to the SR-71s like my team was supposed to. Then having this chance meeting with the guy that ran combat camera for the Air Force, walking up to me in the lab and saying, "I'm going to be putting on a seminar, and I really think that you should, come over and do some stuff because I've seen your record. You were a newsman before you came in the service, and you had a damn good record shooting pictures. So come over to my seminar." After the seminar, he told me, "You need to get into the contest for the program." And out of 2,300 people in my career field, sometimes 500 to 1,000 put in a portfolio and everything. And out of those people, they picked 6. I was number 3. Went to Syracuse, did 36 semester hours in 10 months, graduated, and got sent to the headquarters. And from the headquarters, everything started all over again. One day, this general walks in who I knew as a major when I was in Germany, was now Brigadier General Phillips, and he was running special projects out of the weapons lab. And that was it. And I kept asking my boss, why is it that, nobody else in this office is getting sent on these jobs? Because we used to have gong shows where, you show the stuff that you shot on assignments. And I could never show anything because everything I shot, I had to sign an NDA, and I never saw the images. And he just bluntly said to me, "Because you're built for this. They're not." Who says that?
General.
The general did, and Mr. Hackman. They both said, because you're built for this. They're not. And you already know, my contact with UFOs started when I was 4 years old. So I don't know. It's like they knew something that I didn't. So,
Maybe they've been watching you since day one.
huh?
Say maybe they've been watching you since day one.
I guess so. All I know is the general said something to me that Gordon Parks said to me when I was in high school, when I showed him some of my work, and he said, "Your brain ain't wired like the rest of us." And he goes, "That's a good thing. No matter what the hell happens, don't stop. Keep doing what you're doing. But your brain just ain't wired like ours." Philip said the same thing on my first job, because I wanted to know, what in the heck am I doing here? What is it I'm supposed to do? And he goes, "I want you to do that thing that you do because you see shit nobody else sees." And I did. And like I said, that project turned into the power source that wound up being on the airborne laser, because it went from the size of a semi trailer down to a minibus, because I showed them what was going on inside that chamber with a time-lapse photo. I never saw what it looked like. All I saw was the results. And each time I came back, it got smaller and smaller. I guess they could have had somebody else, but I was the one that came in and I asked them, "Has anybody been able to see what it looks like inside there?" And I'm talking to guys that have got brain power that's in the next galaxy above me, okay? And they're going, "That's impossible. That's 1,000,000 gallons of 30-weight oil. You can't see in there." I want to make a bet. So I built that adapter so that I could put my camera up on the viewport, open the shutter, and when they fired the thing off, I recorded what the hell was in there. And I went back 3 times, and each time I came back, that unit was smaller. And then they said, "Want to thank you for all of your work and everything. You know the drill." They gave me this clip pad. And I signed my name, not to say a thing about it. So those NDAs have run out. I've got other NDAs that won't run out till I'm 92. Because remember I told you what happened when I was retiring, and they said, "Sergeant Marshall, while everybody else was leaving, you need to stay behind because there's some people that need to talk to you." And then that guy comes in with a briefcase with the shackle on his arm and 2 guards, and he sits down in front of me and he goes, "Well, Sergeant Marshall, thank you for your service. Before you'll be allowed to leave, we need to sign some more papers." So that started at 2:00, and we got out of there 7 that night. And he pulled out a stack of, "These are 10 to 20. This is 30, 40, and then this thick." And he goes, "Those are 50 years. So I was 42 years old. At 50, like I said, I'll be 92.
2.5 years.
And
You
who's
know?
gonna believe? And who's gonna believe a man 92? And if you tell those stories, they'll think you're crazy anyway.
You got to get him
I-
back on the. You got to get him on the back on the
I-
podcast, Terry, when he's 92 years old.
Look, man, there's shit that goes out there that has to go to the grave.
I agree.
Okay, those pictures that I sent to you of
Mhm.
the things that I recreated from what I saw firsthand at Area 51. Look, guys, we are not alone. Period.
We
Okay.
never were alone.
And dealing with assholes that say as soon as we make verifiable first contact, the first thing this asshole wants to do is to ask them, do you believe in our Lord our God? And if they ask, like, what are you talking about? You said, I'll pull a gun out and shoot them.
It means they can only produce 4 babies in their entire
Okay.
As far as I know, they are the gods. As far as I know, that they are the gods.
And there's way too much shit going on that shows that we were made here and it wasn't by God. There's way too much. I've seen stuff and things that are just showing. Yeah. Remember, there is that old line of there is science that is so advanced that it would look like magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we're advanced, but shit, we're not even a full class 1 society because we're still fucking around with fossil fuel. Until we leave fossil fuel and start using other power sources, we're dead in the water.
Well, more you got us.
Yeah. I agree with you on that.
I've documented about 45 alternative energy systems that are sitting on a shelf. One of them will show that any municipality that has at least 100,000 people in it can become its own power generation and selling its energy to the power grid.
Of course.
That base that I was on that I told you about in Sicily had 5 of them online. We had a power line to the base, but if something happened to that line, we were producing wind energy, solar energy, that's standard. The other was we had a reactor system and everything for converting everything out of sewage into solid fuel, methane, and returning the water back to the water table where it needs to go. You don't dump it in the river. You replenish your water, your groundwater supply with it. You know, it was freaking insane. We were harvesting water out of the air. We had so much material left over from our production that we were giving fertilizer, which was the ash left over from the sewage, to the grape farmers just outside the base. We had a truck coming in that we were giving them our excess methane. We had 4,500 people on that base.
Yeah.
And we were self-sustaining.
You know, and also recycling whatever you have, like, and for us, every week is a recycle method. Like today will be glass, tomorrow would be the plastic bottles. next day would be the cans, and the next day would be the little thing that your lunch comes in. Lunch boxes will be recycled a different day, and then they create different things. And we don't throw away anything in this country. We recycle everything, right? Including the straws the plastic straws. We recycle nothing here thrown away. And the only thing that's thrown is burnable garbage. And the burnable garbage heats up your swimming pools. And so,
Man,
I
man,
mean,
this is crazy. I'm only picking up like every other word, but you
yeah,
guys can hear me clear.
sorry
Yeah, I
about
can hear you. I can hear you fine.
you're clear.
I'm getting the same thing through hers too.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Yeah, I get
something.
I get the gist of what you're saying, Irene.
Yeah, I just try to pick up what's interfering with you. There is an energy that's interfering with your mic.
Look, we proved that we can go to all of the old abandoned landfill sites
Yeah,
and harvest them
yeah,
for material
yep,
and methane and a lot of other things.
yep,
We could reclaim all of those
yep,
dump sites and
yep,
have fuel
yep,
because everything that's in there can be compressed down,
yep,
turned into fuel blocks, and
yep,
burned
yep,
in a different type of reactor that we
yep,
developed that
yep.
they put on the shelf. We
And
don't need to have okay. When they pick up your garbage, instead of it
yep,
going to a landfill, it
no,
goes to a power production.
yep,
And in that power production station, they will be producing, like, say, Albuquerque has like a 500,000 people in it. Can
yeah,
you imagine how much energy this city would be producing that would
yep,
put the damn electric company out of business?
yep.
We don't need to burn coal. We don't need to burn gas. We make our own gas. We don't have to take it out of the ground anymore because we human beings are producing methane.
Yeah. Plus, you, when you look at it, like you live on a big island, okay, tiny island, okay. We don't have landfill. There's no place to put garbage, right? So everything is all recycled into something else, so they can be reused, and it creates jobs, okay. It creates whatever the next product that's made in it, right? And and people are thinking about throwing away something before they throw about it, right? And
Hmm.
plus, like like uh, television and washing machines, you have to pay money to throw that away. It's not free. Blankets are not free to throw away. You have to pay $50 to throw it away, right? So it makes what am I throwing away? And how much money is it going to cost to throw it away? And you see, that's the thing about it, is that you have to think about what you use and how much you're going to use it and what you're going to do with it afterwards. Because we are we are wasteful society. Okay, we think, throw away, buy a new one. We do that.
Almost to the point of purposeful wasteful.
Yeah, we kind of because so everything
Yep,
like a
Christy,
refrigerator,
you're
all
right.
okay, so they get fixed up and they get resold, and everything else that nothing is thrown away in the garbage anymore. And we have to be that kind of we have to become that kind of society because we don't have anything to waste anymore. We can't be wasteful. We can't be stupid because we have to show our next generation how important it is that we keep our land clean.
Do you know? Do you know that if we set this up like when garbage was collected and you had all metals being shuffled off one direction, all plastics, all paper, all cardboard.
Mhm.
Do you know how many jobs that would put in?
Yep.
Because at the collection point where all of these go to, those
Yep.
plastics can be turned into other
Yep.
instruments, material, building
Yep.
material. We developed a way of and this was just before I went in the service, and I saw them doing it when I was in the service as civil engineers, mixing up concrete with paper and cardboard products that made the concrete stronger and more flexible, you know, where it could withstand the
Yeah.
jostling of earthquakes and all of
Yeah.
this other stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
You could just on, say, the reactor system for the methane out of the
Yep.
out of the garbage, you could
Yep.
probably put about, I'd say, 1,100 people to work just on that system, on that system alone.
Yep. Yep.
Besides the collecting, the separating, the processing, and
Yep.
then who's going to be
Yep.
monitoring the energy part of it, because we had a control room that looked like the ones at a regular electric power plant or a nuke power plant, because the way we were concentrating it, this shit was deadly. You set off a spark, we would have leveled 40
Like,
blocks.
there goes Robert. Robert, see ya.
Right. Hey, let's jump over to what's going on in your. Let's jump over to and talk about what's going on in your own backyard. I'm pretty sure you know about Dulce, New Mexico, and what's going on there.
And what?
Dulce, New Mexico.
Oh, Dulce.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're talking about the underground system.
Now, do you think what actually happened to Phil Snyder? Do you think that really happened?
Oh, okay. Contact. Look, I believe it did. You know,
I mean, I believe
there's-
it too. So why would they go in such a big stink about trying to shut him up? And at some point, I think they killed him.
you have to understand that our government in particular is so damn paranoid at letting any of this out. You also have to understand that our government is so inundated with these evangelical fascist Chrislamic idiots
Yeah.
that are treating everything as the devil and demons, and that person I told you about was only the tip of the iceberg. Okay? Look, people have to understand that Christianity, that I call Chrislam, because Judaism, Islam, and Christianity are all three redheaded stepsisters that are constantly fighting each other over world domination and who can outpopulate who. Because one of the legs jihad of Islam is population growth. Come in as a minority and spread until you outnumber who's normally there.
Yeah.
And then you start changing things around. I know I'm going to say something that is going to set some people's hackles up. But when I was in college, my world civilization teacher, he had 4 other people that he was working with. See if I remember right. One was a Hindi with all of the prehistoric knowledge of things that were going on in that neck of the woods. One was a Jew. Another one was Arab. And another one was from lower Sahara Africa. And they were bringing up things about Muhammad that most people will not talk about, and how he got started. And their main thing is, and this is going to be a trigger, this person that was totally ignorant and had no sense was being tutored by 3 women that wore black and white.
Uh-oh.
What does that tell you? Okay.
All hell break loose.
He tried 3 times to get his religion accepted, and it went in stages. First, the Jews kicked him out, almost ran him out on a rail. The people at Mecca, that they eventually slaughtered all the people there, they ran him off. And then there was another civilization, I think it was the Egyptians. So after those 3 trial runs, they came up with the Quran. And the first thing he did was go to Mecca, wipe everybody out, and take over the obelisk there. That thing that these Muslims are going to worship was literally the female, the woman. That orifice that they stick their head in for blessings is a woman's vulva. Okay. What it all boiled down to, and the one in the group that was Arabic and India said that Catholicism at the time needed an enemy, and they also needed a proxy to attack the Jews, because the Jews wouldn't accept Christianity because Christianity was a lie. So they created an eternal enemy that goes with their end of the world Armageddon bullshit. And here we are. Okay, for 2,000 years, Christianity has been doing this. For the last 1,400 years, Islam has been trying to catch up with the same number of slaughtering. And all of this just to see who's going to, rule the world. And you've got this main one of Christianity as a living to die cult. And here we are in the damn Middle East again, and their wet dream is that war without end. And thank goodness our founding fathers were deists, and they refused to let the Christians write Christianity into our Constitution, because if they did, this would be a holy war and not a fatwa.
Yeah.
Because we killed their holy leader. If Christianity was in our Constitution, that war would be bigger than it is now.
Yeah.
And the only reason that he did attack them is because they didn't have a nuke yet. If they had a nuke, they wouldn't have done shit.
Yeah.
They want to die. Hey, Pakistan got a nuke and they ain't doing nothing. They don't even fuck with Pakistan.
No.
Yeah, but you notice everything in Pakistan and India shut down when they both had nukes.
I know. And
Shit
you know
gets
what?
honest. Shit gets honest fast when you got a nuke.
Yeah, it
that's
does.
why we don't want any nukes. We don't want any nukes. We had a Fallout 2. We don't need any more. We don't need it.
Yeah. Hey, because you know what they say, a useless weapon is nothing until you use it just one time.
Yeah. And nobody wins. Nobody wins. Everyone loses. Everyone dies. You know.
The cockroaches
But
will inherit the earth.
Yeah. You know what? And the
Yeah.
roaches will win. The ants will be there. Whatever is gonna live, and we're all gonna die off.
Yeah. You have to understand something. After the first nuke exchange, and I'm saying maybe the exchange is 10 hydrogen bombs from each: Russia, us, England, France, Germany, China. The earth will be uninhabitable
Yeah.
in only 6 months.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
will not survive. The
Nope.
half-life of what's going to be left over will take 500 years.
Hmm.
Okay, just that half-life. We're
Yeah.
talking about other material that its half-life is 4,000 years.
Hmm.
The Earth will go on without us
Hmm.
and produce, well, when they come to repopulate,
Hmm.
because we didn't just come, do the numbers, do the math, okay?
Yeah.
Right?
I
We,
mean,
Hey, that's enough said with me. I already know what's gonna happen. Mother Nature
we,
will always
we were
recover.
initially kick-started a couple of times,
mhm,
and here we are, because you go from Lucy to Neanderthal. There was a short one after Neanderthal,
mhm.
and then all of a sudden you had Cro-Mag, and then Cro-Mag went away instantly, and here we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so this planet is a petri dish.
Of course. I'm gonna ask a weird question, okay? Do you think the aliens are watching us to see how stupid we are, making sure we don't make the same stupid mistakes as what happened back then with them?
Yeah. Remember I told you what the very same ship type that I encountered at 4 years old and during my progression through the service, what it did on my next to last assignment when I was in Sicily, where it stopped some faction, or yeah, just call it another faction of aliens,
Uh,
were producing an F5 tornado over our nuke area when we were having an inspection. And the inspection was full up rounds. That meant all the dummy missiles were out of the carriers, and all of the trucks were going to be out on the marshalling yard like we were preparing for war with live rounds. And that F5 tornado started appearing. And I've been with Noah. No tornado forms that fast,
yeah.
especially that size.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, that lenticular cloud showed up, and it compressed the tornado and split it into 3 parts.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
it 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 was a sight to see.
Yeah.
And then I saw it literally show me who they were as it was phasing away, and it was that V-shaped craft, and it just trans out just like that. But first, it let
Mm,
the cloud dissipate, gone,
mm,
and it was like, okay, guys, you're showing me you're still around.
yeah.
Why do
I
you
And
wonder.
some
think?
and
I wonder
somebody
if they
brought
think
up
that we're a
something.
bunch of stupid dumbasses. You know.
Somebody brought up something about reincarnation. It's
Yeah.
it's called genetic memory.
Yeah.
Yes, but that
Yeah.
was put in us.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're still dumbasses because we refuse to accept reality.
Yeah.
Okay, we've been hammered over and over and over again by the just say the psyops of shit, to ridicule things that you see.
Yeah.
You know, not everything is some hologram or an illusion. We have been seeing real stuff happening. We're drawing on old memories that we just can't seem to figure out that's there. We've got a society that hammers you down whenever you say
Yeah.
you feel something and you've sensed something, and you go from there.
Yeah.
One of the things that came up in one of my researches where I was working with was why all of a sudden they're fucking with our olfactory system, our nose. everything has got this. Everybody's talking about scents and scents, and you're being flooded with it on, the stuff for cleaning your clothes, for the air in your house. Okay, when we smell something, it immediately goes to our fight or flight sense because we're hardwired to that. Okay, our sense of smell is what kept us alive.
Yeah.
Okay, look at ancient man. It could smell when there was a predator around, and which kind. We don't have that in our frontal anymore,
No.
but it's still instinctual back here. And I've worked with people that they're working with that because they're still saying we've got to keep that alive because that's
Yeah.
what keeps us alive.
Exactly. It's called your sixth sense or your spidey sense or whatever it is that you think it is. Some of us do listen to it, some of us ignore it, but I think we have to bring it back. I think we have to tap into ourselves again. I think we have to reach in and we have to bring it back out and we have to learn how to use it more. And not ignore things that something's telling you. If you get that really hinky feeling in the back of your head, bring it out and listen to yourself. It's telling you something that you have to listen to and not ignore it anymore. Because it could save your life.
Yeah, but you know what my biggest problem is I have with aliens and whatever the conspiracy theorists that are out there. There's a lot of rumors that our own government is harvesting humans for aliens. And the biggest question I have is why are we harvesting humans when we actually have DNA banks to actually give them what they want? So I don't understand why are they taking us when they actually have what it takes to manufacture us. I don't understand that.
Considering that the human body is a walking pharmacy, stop and think a second. All of the things our bodies produce naturally, okay, because there's things that our body literally heals itself of. Every plant on the planet, for whatever reason, has a material that when it hits the sensors on our tongue will get the body to produce endorphins and other materials to balance things out. I look, I grew up on the res, so everything from a child I was learning about plants, and when I got a sensei who was from Korea, keyed into the same things, where even my sensei said, our body is a walking pharmacy. So we are a hot item. Under various conditions, our body will produce specific chemicals in our fight or flight. Yeah, there's adrenaline, but there's other chemicals along with it, because adrenaline gives you heightened awareness a little bit and maybe some speed and strength, but the rest that comes along is heightening your muscle ability, your reaction time, making you hyper aware, and go from that. The government had been trying to find ways chemically to make a soldier that was more aware, which is smelling, sight, hearing, even tasting the air, so on
Super
and so forth.
soldier.
Yes,
I heard that they actually succeeded in that. I don't know how true that is.
that's another galaxy above my pay grade.
I've
Okay,
heard they
I
actually
can
achieved
neither
that.
affirm nor deny. But yeah,
You know,
they're working. They're
can
working
you
hard
imagine
because
a?
they want
Can
to
you
get
imagine?
rid. They want to get rid of our conscience, our
Yeah.
being able to have remorse and things like
Yeah.
that. They're trying to get that out of you so that your reaction time is quicker.
Yeah, that's the
To be
ultimate
more.
weapon right there. That
Our
is the
our
ultimate weapon.
our guys ran into a hell of a predicament, like when Vietnam was going on, and then when the Cubans pulled the same shit in Grenada, where they were all in civilian clothes because they thought that that would slow down our reaction time, of which the admiral had said, you see somebody in front of you that ain't in the same uniform, they've got a weapon, put them down.
Mm.
End of story.
Mhm.
Because he said, I am not writing condolence letters home for somebody that was a dumbass.
Mm.
Hmm. Interesting. Now, do you think we're going to switch it to the paranormal aspect of your life? Uh,
I hope
a
you're
lot of
ready.
people say, yeah, a lot of people say that all this is intertwined. All this, it's like a big ball of yarn. All this is just connected, different colors of yarn, everything. Do you think everything is connected? Or do you think certain aspects of what's going on in this world is separate?
Everything and everything and everything and everything is interconnected because it's in this biosphere. It's also in this spiritual energy field. Okay. I have run across aliens that have died here. Okay. Look, I was trained from when I was 4 years old because I was doing stuff that I shouldn't have known at 4 years old and doing stuff that they recognized was older than old, from like their archives of what people did. I knew how to cross over a person who was dying when I was 3. I did it in front of them with my great aunt and my great great grandmother right then and there said, we've got to start training him because I went through the ritual of crossing her over when she was on her deathbed.
Mhm.
And I was on the res.
Mhm.
I was seeing things, scribing what I call petroglyphs that I think I showed you that was not from here, and all sorts of things that were going on. Um, you can't fully separate everything because it's all intertwined.
Mhm.
I have seen, okay, remember I told you about my incident of seeing that two-dimensional being when I was in between Indian Springs and Mercury, Nevada, where
Right.
this thing was looking at me while I was out there taking pictures at night, and it sounded like a door was sliding open, and out of the corner of my eye, I could see this hulking figure standing in this opening. And as I turned to look at it, it closed and turned sideways and went away because that's what two-dimensionals do.
Mhm.
If it's facing you, you can see it like this because it has height and depth. But when you turn sideways, it disappears because it has no depth.
Yeah.
Its depth doesn't register here.
Mm-mm. Or you can see it at the corner of your eye. That's when you
Yep.
can see it. It's not. It. Yeah, it's like the way that I see. I don't see things like in front of me. I see it off to the side, or in a different room. That's why I look right, or I look up, or I look that way. It depends on which angle I can see it where they come out. It's true. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. And this thing had an energy field around it like you wouldn't believe. because it was pulsing. I could feel it. It wasn't hot. It was kind of lukewarm and almost felt like water hanging in the air, like a wall of water. And then when it closed and I heard it like this, all of that just dropped and it was gone.
A breeding colony can have as many as 1,500.
Interesting. So, why do you think the Native Americans are so persistent in not revealing any of their information to the outside world about what they think or what they presume that the paranormal is really about?
They hold everything really close to the vest because too many things have been stolen from us, manipulated, ridiculed, and shut down because the real world people, as society tries to call itself, is too full of itself and thinks that it's the top of the pyramid, and it isn't.
No.
They've had way too many things stolen. They've had way too many things repressed. And unfortunately, there's way too many of us that don't even accept people like me because I'm a half-breed. Didn't used to be like that, but thanks to Christianity, the one thing I can tell you, I was called the N-word on the res before I was in the city. And it was because that the church that had been started by the Southern Baptist missionaries was telling the Native Americans that were being converted that we were slaves, only meant to be slaves. And whenever you see one of us trying to pass themselves off as you, is to call them the N-word so that you remind them of their place.
Interesting.
Is this
And
the old people? Like the
not when I was growing up.
Okay.
Okay, and this is back in the 50s.
Well, that's the old people to me, but
and it's still, yeah, I'm an old guy.
so I'm 57, so yeah.
He finally told me his age, you old goat.
Man, I told you that last week and the week before that and the last time we
Terry,
talked.
you two, I'm older than both of you two guys put together. Cut it out.
I don't know about that. I don't think that's true. No. Because Terry, he's got to be at least 50.
I'm older than that. I'm 10 years older than you guys, both of you guys put
If
together.
I told you I wasn't 55, would you believe me?
No.
You don't believe I'm 57?
I didn't say that. I didn't say I didn't believe you.
Yes, you
I'm
did.
older than Joe. Gee whiz.
Okay.
Irene, you're old, but you ain't older than dirt.
That's what I'm saying, right? I mean,
I still got my. You see. The claws come out. You know.
Well,
Okay.
you know what?
Here's something for you to think about. After all of the alien contact that I've had since I was a child, the one thing that keyed in to let me know what the hell was really going on, and this has to do with genetic memory, because they were part of me. I get it, definitely, is that I've got memories that go back 475,000 years. I saw stuff before I was here. And the one thing that confirmed it was when I first met them when I was 4, and the really tall one, he was speaking and in my head said he doesn't know how old he really is, because I was hyped that, yeah, next week I'm going to be 4 years old. And then I heard he really doesn't know how old he is, does he?
No, he doesn't.
And
No, you
and
don't.
she
Right.
and then she said, we have to give it time. He's the oldest one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I didn't know what the hell that was until later on. And that's when I started seeing more images. I was drawing more things, as I got older. By the time I was 12 years old, I had a damn volume of petroglyphs and energy symbols. And, I told you, I was drawing runes when I was 4 years old. I didn't even know what the hell they were until I got stationed over in Germany and got assigned to a unit in Holland. And the guy that became my wingman saw me drawing these things in the border of, my briefing paper. And he said, where did you learn runes? And I went, runes? What are runes? And he started pointing them out. And then he goes, this one that you're drawing is the rune of a shaman. I was.
Robert, can I ask a stupid question? Can I ask you a real stupid question? What blood type do you have?
What?
Blood type do you have?
What do I have?
Blood type.
type.
Oh, I'm O positive.
That doesn't work. Okay, I got it. So much for that idea.
What?
What?
Okay, look at this. Remember I sent you that picture of what my eyes look like? And I said that wasn't Photoshop, that blue ring. Everybody in the tribe that had that blue ring was a medicine person, and we were all O positive. You could take it to the bank. Anybody that was related to us and they had that blue ring around their eyes was O positive. We had certain abilities that, that would manifest. The only one that was weird was my mother, because her eyes were hazel with a black ring around it, and she could push things. She was telekinetic.
Wow.
Interesting.
Because the reason why I asked is because
Okay, she could take a piece of paper, and you're on the other end of the table, and she would go like this with the paper and try it at home with a piece of paper and see how far it goes. Hers would just go through the air, coming down, and land in front of you.
The reason why
That's
is
wild.
that I've heard that rare blood types were not of this earth. That's why I heard.
Some of the people that are RH type.
Negative. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's a blood type that they call the golden mean.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. Because I'm AB, right? I'm AB positive, okay? There's not very many of us hanging around here. And, yeah. Except for, myself and my kids, like we're the only weird ones. And we're called weirdos.
But you see the A, the B's, the ABs, and that were offshoot from the hunter-gatherers when they started settling down.
Yeah.
And forming communities.
Yeah.
Because I believe it was no longer that tantamount to have, because you weren't going from place to place to place anymore, and needing, I guess,
Robert,
that skill set.
Robert, I'm hiding out from the Red Cross because they always like to hunt me down, but I'm not around. Serious. serious. Gosh darn. Find somebody else, okay? Don't bug me.
You know, you said your grandmother was the key to all of this that happens in your life, or it started with her and it ended with you. But I'm thinking it started with somebody besides her, because it usually goes from generation to generation to generation. Robert, do you have kids by chance?
I had well, they're both dead now. My first kid was born in Germany, and he lived 8 hours. He had a weird lung disease that they call the Heimlich disease, where the fluid sac around the lung was inflamed, and he couldn't live. And then my second one was a girl, and she only 5 months inside the mother, so she died.
And you've never tried after that again?
No,
I wonder
Is
why
that why
that
I
is the
see
case.
two children always behind you every time? That's why I see two children behind you all the time. They're always watching over you. They're always sitting behind you. Interesting.
look, I've let's see, one. Uh, Marriage was a weird thing, like my first wife. Uh, we were constantly deploying and things like this. I met her when I was in tech school, and we stayed together about 11 years. And she had no problems with what I did. The only
Mhm.
thing she said was, "You come back in one piece, and that's all that I care about." Okay.
Mhm.
My second wife, I think I told you that she got into some trouble on one of my deployments because she wanted to surprise me at my
Mm.
deployment, and she was from Denver, so she drove from Norton Air Force Base in California to Denver to pop in and surprise me, not knowing that deployment was a cover for them to deploy 5 special teams. And I
Mm.
was on one of them. And she shows
Yikes.
up, and she showed up, and she raised such a mess. This is out of the movies, okay? They arrested her, put her in this room. A man walks in with a briefcase, and she is up and down, frontwards to backwards, screaming her head off about my goddamn husband. I know he's here. I saw him get on the plane, and on and on and on. And he goes, "After you finally calm down, we need to talk." Now, I got this from him, and he
Mhm.
goes, "What you've stepped into is something under national security. You will not speak of this ever from this
Mhm.
day forward at any time. You
Mm.
will sign these papers, and if you break this agreement, you will immediately be put in jail, then to prison. Do I make myself clear?" And she goes off again, and he said he just leaned back. He waited, and he goes, "Are you quite through, ma'am? Will you sign the papers? You will be compensated very, very well
Mhm.
for your
Mm.
troubles, but you will never, ever, ever mention this operation again." So she signed the papers. They gave they gave her cash. I think it was like $3,000 to $5,000, and we were together until Desert Storm. When I came back from Desert Storm to a half-empty house, there was a note on my desk, and it said, "You wouldn't ever tell me what the hell you did." There you go.
Would you? Would you? Wouldn't you? Yeah.
You would not tell me what you did.
I'm gonna be proud of making me happy.
She held that grudge for a long freaking time because that was 1984,
Mm.
and she left in 92, 91.
Wow. Man, that's crazy. Do you believe in half the stories that are published on social media about people encountering strange things from the paranormal field? What is your take on some of that stuff that people put out in the world?
You're still breaking up. Damn. I picked up something about things on social media where people
Yeah.
are talking about
I mean,
what?
all the photos, I mean, everything about the paranormal where you think it's a photo, it's an encounter. How do you feel about things like that, that people put out on social media from your own, experience in the paranormal?
Some of the things that I've seen, like in the past before social media and everything came up, you could pretty much, depend on it because like me being a photographer and also being in a photographic unit where we did tests on things like that, you could find out what was manipulated and, what wasn't. Now with social media and the way AI is getting out of hand, it is really, really hard
Yeah.
to put any kind of stock, in some of the footage and things like that they're coming out with.
That's why
I,
that's
I
why I use just my raw footage of what I get, like over a digital voice recorder or just a regular camera. You know what I mean? So I don't use AI for none of that stuff for evidence or anything because they would consider it. I mean, it's considered fake.
yeah,
So I
you
don't use
you
AI.
can't enhance anything. It's got to be
No.
raw.
Yeah.
Like with my photography, I refuse to use Photoshop because as soon as it came out in its first generation when I was in the service, people were starting to lie with their photographs then.
Yeah.
Uh, one of the things that really pissed me off was when Katrina happened, and there was this one photo that got released before they took it down, and the reason why they took it down is because of this manipulation that happened.
Yeah.
There were 3 black people, 5 white people. They were wading through almost waist deep water coming from this strip mall. The guy that owned that shop was asking people to please take these for me and put it in my truck that's on the other side of the water so that I can save them because this is the most expensive stuff I've got in the shop. And before the water gets any higher, I want you to save it. So there were 5 black people, 4 in the front, no, 4 in the front were white. The one following behind, the 5th one, was the owner of the store. 3 people over here were black, and they were right this close, and they were helping him. Now, when the thing made the media, somebody had cut that picture right down in between the black people and the white people, filled in that area with water, and said that these people were thieves. And on this side were the people that were helping this store owner save his precious instruments that were in this store. That is why I despise Photoshop, and AI ain't no different.
Yeah.
Okay, and you've just ruined these people's lives and their reputation saying that they were thieves And these people, out of the goodness of their heart, was helping this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no,
Because I've caught
you know,
images.
I'm sorry, but fuck you and your Photoshop.
I've caught images many years back of things I should have never caught in places, and that was just by chance, by just taking a random picture, and I never used Photoshop, AI, nothing. I actually caught a face that was laying in a bed dissipate after 4 shots.
That's cool. That's cool.
And this was at what was that? It was at that place out in New York, the Hinsdale House. So all I did was stick my camera up and shot it 4 times. You can actually see the face there, and then it dissipated into nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Prospect Place Mansion. We left the mansion that day and took pictures of the window. We actually caught somebody looking outside the window. We went back in. There was nothing in front of that window.
Yeah. They will present themselves like
Yes.
that, because I have seen so many of those. I was also in a full up physical haunt when I was stationed in Germany before I transferred out, where we made a coffee house that was called the Whole Earth Underground in the basement of the recreation building. And I had already made contact with the ghosts of the Germans who died to a man at this base. The base was a Zweibrücken air base. It was about 40 miles from the French border. And when they realized that I could see them, it just went crazy. So while we're doing the painting and the construction down in the basement, my friend is over at the front wall where the window is that the staircase comes down by, and the door over here, and he's painting. And as I'm piling stuff together to get things to move, I saw somebody walking down the stairs. And what was walking down the stairs was one of the ghosts. He was in like your upper grade commandant uniform with a long gray leather coat and the metal medallion that hung around the neck. And he's walking down the stairs. He gets to the window and he looks in the window like that. And I went like that at him, and he waved back. And he starts coming down the stairs again, and now you can hear his feet on the stairs.
Wow.
And my buddy that was over here painting, oh, somebody's coming down the stairs. So he sees the back of him in the window, and he continues painting. Then he heard the feet land at the bottom, and then, to fuck with my buddy, you see this hand phasing between having flesh on it and bones, came around the corner and turned the lights off. My buddy saw that, and he dropped his brush, and he's going, "Oh, fuck no. Oh, hell no. Shit, damn it."
I bet he hightailed it out of there in a second, right?
and I yelled at damn, I can't remember his name because I remember the ghost name. I yelled at him to stop doing that, and my buddy comes tearing out of there, ran right through him. And as he was going up the stairs, he's going like this, shivering because he had run through
That's wild.
And he gets up the top of the stairs and he's going, "You can't pay me enough money to get my ass back down there."
You know what? You should have taken a video of that. That would have been good.
There were no portable video cameras back in 1975.
I know, but that would have been good to use, right?
Oh,
But
but
they-
but
that could-
I made an agreement with the ghosts because they love children
Mhm.
that I was going to set up a spot down there because we also had a lot of kids in the coffee house. So I did this curtained off thing with black lights, black light paint on the wall, and I would leave a spray bottle of water because these ghosts, if you sprayed water in the air like a mist and they stepped in it, you could see them. And I told them, this is your place.
Yeah,
And
that also shows you, like, the other half of society that's not educated in the paranormal like we are. They wouldn't know what to think. That shows you that they'd be scared to death if they seen this all the time.
oh yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I've been to over 100 places investigating the paranormal. I've written articles in magazines, stuff like that, whatever. It's, if you don't believe, that's fine. But we know what's out there.
Mhm.
We know what's out there. We know how to get that information. But my question to you is, if you don't do it right, if you don't do the investigation correctly, the way it's supposed to be investigated, you're not going to get anything. And if you do it correctly, in the way it's supposed to be done, you're going to get everything.
Yeah. Credible evidence.
Yes. And that's why when I do EVP sessions, I could sit in somebody's bedroom. The thing I do is turn on my camera and I record the EVP session to show people what I get over my digital voice recorder is not me and nobody else in that room. When you can't hear that over a camera, but you can hear it over a digital voice recorder, that makes you think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can tell you from as far back as I can remember, it's not that I was a magnet. It's just that if I am in that place and space, they're comfortable with me.
Yeah.
And I mean even the bad ones.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. When I do an investigation, like one investigator could go in and say, I didn't get anything. Then I go in right behind him. I'm getting 3 names. I'm getting why they're there. And I walk out within 20 minutes going, oh yeah, I got like 3 names and they're telling me their whole life story.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
To show you how comfortable they are, the German spirits that I ran across, when they recognized that I could see them and was comfortable with them, they stopped speaking in German and started talking in English. It was either that or somehow or other, going through the shredder, I understood every damn thing they said.
Yeah.
Do you think that they're adaptable to what language you speak? I think so.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think
I
spirits can be
believe
adaptable to it.
so.
Yeah.
Because look at how many years they were there. When this one figured out that I could see him, he was like a Hitler youth type age, and he started talking to me about his mother, how he missed his brothers and sisters, and how much of a fool he was, believing in. It's like, how do you have conversations like that?
No.
You know, they were all intelligent haunts.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know,
And it's cool
they
that,
were telling me their life stories.
Yeah.
and it's cool that you're able to get consistent conversation with entities like that. Because nowadays, you might get maybe 2 or 3 words out of the whole conversation, and that's it. And for you to get
Oh,
something like that, that's cool.
I could get a digital voice recorder full of EVPs, file after file, just because I know what I'm doing when I go into somewhere and speak to somebody.
There's
What
one
words
problem
I
I have
use.
with this world that we're in is that people, how am I gonna put this? Okay. They differentiate between um that not just religion, but I'm thinking race. They differentiate. Well, we're not going to talk to because that was about because those people were of our enemy. We don't talk to them. But they have to realize that we as paranormal investigators have no. We don't judge by race, ethnic, or whatever. But we
Yeah,
do our work, and we see them as people who passed. It
yeah,
doesn't matter if they're German. It doesn't matter if they were Indian. It doesn't matter if whatever religion they were, or whatever personality they were, whatever race they were. We have to be objective, and there are some people out there who refuse to be objective. Okay.
But you know what, Irene, and you are right to a certain point, but with that, it's a double-edged sword.
I know.
We
I know.
on this side, we have to maintain a certain balance and certain
Yeah.
control because we
Yeah.
don't know what color. That's something that we do not even talk about when we're out investigation. We
I
don't
know.
care about that. You're right on
No.
that point.
You
We
you
don't
you will
care.
never you will never know the race of the spirit that you're talking to.
You will never know.
How do you know
But
that?
you won't. But Joe, check it out. But the roles sometimes gets reversed on
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
It gets
Yeah.
reversed on us because I've had an experience where I had a white female that was a part of my team, and the spirits that was there asked a very specific question: why is she here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was just me and her. And I'm like, oh shit, let me get her out of here. Because
Well,
I
Yeah.
I mean,
forgot. Because I
Yeah.
forgot. It's an
Yeah.
all-black cemetery.
Yeah.
So sometimes it can get reversed on the psychology can get reversed on you.
Yeah.
now there's a lot of times where I've witnessed where they had succubuses in the houses to where you cannot have women in a house for a certain time for a certain amount of time, because if that's the case, they're going to get followed home and bad shit's going to happen to them.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So
Because they can be mobile
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
or attachments like
Yeah.
okay, taps when they were on. These idiots did an episode. A funny thing happened here in the house when it was going on because I have my dead relatives here, okay, and my great uncle Jake, that's a World War I vet, he materialized next to my stereo over here, and we were watching this episode of Taps where they were doing some kind of Halloween bullshit,
Mhm.
and he goes, wait for it, wait for it, you're gonna love it, wait for it. And something came up that scared the shit out of their cameraman, flung his case up into his face and knocked him down. And I'm looking over at my uncle Jake, and at the same time that happened, my drum skin that was hanging on the wall over here fell off at the exact time the guy got hit in the face.
Mm.
And they're going, oh, he tripped over this or he tripped over that, and so, he lost his footing. No, bullshit. You guys were fucking around in that armory and you pissed this thing off because they dissed it and it reacted. And you see this tape recorder fling up like this and into the guy's face.
Yeah.
Yeah, spirits travel.
Yeah.
I mean, spirits travel. I mean, it's like when you go into one place, then 2 months later you go to another place or the same place, you could get different spirits at any time.
Yeah.
It's not the same person every time. Exactly. It's layers. Absolutely.
Okay. It's different time periods.
Yep.
And the energies shift to where one side is visible at one time, and then the energy shifts and the harmonics is better to show people from this time period. I've seen that, and it's, if you don't know what you're doing, it can be unnerving.
Yeah. Just because they think one person's in a certain place all the time, that's not the case.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. Maybe every once in a while you'll get the same person here and there, but it's not every time. You always get somebody different.
Yeah. There are instances where you understand when I say what is a cardinal spirit. It's something that's locked in, and it will always be there. It cannot be removed, and you have to respect it and learn how to live with it.
Yeah.
I have run across those.
Yeah, I did a woman's house out here in Newark, Ohio, about 6 years ago, and I got I had my recorders running over 3 different recorders. I got the nastiest voice over my digital voice recorder. We couldn't understand what it was. People told me it was a Latin language, and I was like, I still have never got an answer of what it said or why it was there. But that whole night, whatever was there tried to disguise itself as a child, as the woman's mother, and try to disguise it. Try to disguise itself as I forget what else, but it tried to disguise itself 3 times.
Yeah, because it was trying to find a way to get in with you and be comfortable with you.
Yeah.
That too. And that's one thing you don't want to do.
No. No. Hey, one thing I can tell you, the younger of those spirits that was in the Hitler Youth, he was always asking or saying about home, and I can't leave here. I want to go home.
Yeah.
And he's going, I miss my mom. I miss my brothers and sisters. Meine Mutter, meine Schwester, meine Bruder, all the time. And then I asked him, what if I could help you go home? And home, wherever you want to go. And he goes, can you do that? And I went, yes, I have a way of doing that. I can help you go home. And he said, home or home? Okay, and I said, wherever you want to go. And so I went over to the pillbox that he was killed in. So a lot of the others got killed there too. And I took some dirt, I got some tobacco, I mixed everything together, and then with my hand, I drew the symbol for a portal. because I deal with the dead all the time and I help them to cross over. And I put it there and I told him, whenever you want to, just walk through it.
They usually prefer to move slowly
And
because they
it was about, I was going to transfer out 3 months later. And that's when I saw not just him, I saw a bunch of others just walk up to the thing and just left.
Mm,
It was like a procession.
mm,
That was more than an intelligent haunt.
yeah.
Okay, because maybe it's because they all served together and they all knew each other. You know, five of them died in that pillbox, but there were 10 other pillboxes in the area.
Mm,
They had overlapping fire across this open plain area. And when they finally, you know, got them killed and they destroyed the pillboxes later, their spirits were still locked there.
Terry, I
What?
have to go. I don't feel good. I have to
Okay.
go. I don't feel good.
All right.
You
I'll
okay,
talk to you
Irene?
tomorrow.
Get well.
But it isn't until they're 6 or 7.
That sucks for her.
Okay. Yeah, dude, she's not. She tried the good fight.
Mm.
She put up, but sometimes you just gotta let nature take its course and
Hey.
just
Yeah.
go.
I mean,
Go
because
with
we know spirits can come and go out of dimensions, back and forth at will. We know that. It's what you catch at the time. Well, you're not catching anything, but what you get as evidence is it's almost like it's a if you ask them, you know, where did you come from? How did you communicate with me? You're never going to get that answer. Never. You may get a name. A lot of people say, oh, they don't know their name. That's not true.
Mm-mm.
That is not true. I've caught many voices tell me their name. And of course, you're gonna got to go way back to try to find this person, and a lot of times you can't. And when you can't, you're kind of like, huh, was that just a spirit that just?
Well,
It's more like a game of some sort where I know something that you don't know.
Yeah. I know.
it's always that game. They play it quite well. That game is well known in the spiritual realm. And as far as names, shit, my wife know her name to the T. And I think if I'm right, I might be wrong about this, but I think as time goes on, they might seem to lose, memory, just like everybody else in time and of age. Grandparents sometimes they forget they forget their oh baby, what's your name again? Baby, I forgot your name. Yeah, grandma, come on now. I'm your grandson. I'm such and such and such. But maybe they do forget a little bit as time get older, and as time goes on, just like just like everything else. But one thing I do know that if it's a fresh, they're not going to forget their names or their children names or, their mother's names just right, within the first 30 years, I would think so. It might be a little later, but I do think that they remember who they are. And I do think they don't forget who they was and what they done in their life. Because all that comes with us. How can we forget? I understand if we're dead and we leave all that BS behind in the grave, in the casket. But no, all that is it's all a part of you. So
Mhm.
it naturally it goes with you, and
Yes, all of what you were is still there.
Yep.
All of it.
just because you don't have that shell, does that make you less of a person?
Mm-mm.
No, if anything, it gives you more knowledge. It teaches you how to adapt to certain situations that you might have to adapt to. It
Yeah,
makes you a little bit more knowledgeable. But
whatever
I don't
whatever
think
was going on, whatever was going on with the person while they were alive, when they crossed over, when they died, even if they had dementia or whatever in their latter time, that ain't the case when they crossed over.
no, because you leaving that dementia. See, dementia it's a body thing. I mean, it's something. I'm not for sure what it is, but it's had something to do. But once you leave your physical body, all that is gone. It's
Hmm.
it's it's you can throw that out the window. You can kiss that. You can throw that on the back of the shelf because all of
And there,
that, all everything that you've ever your body has been through, it's no longer. You won't even feel that. I don't think. I don't even know if you still feel the elements of your body once you're gone. Is it just air? That's a question that's never been asked. I've never asked that question. Hey, do you still feel your body? On the other side. Tell me. I'm curious. Or is
But
it just
it's
a
a different
remnant
body
of
they're
your
feeling.
body?
It's a different body they're feeling when they transition from here. Okay? Because you've got your physical body, your energy body, your mental body, mind, and spirit. The body goes away, but the mental and the spirit energy stays
Hell, that's
connected.
all you need. That's all you need to have a good time.
well, that's why when sometimes when you investigate and you get somebody just a bad mouth, you get somebody just yelling at you or whatever, that person could have probably been the worst person in the world before he died. And you're going to get the same person again,
Yes,
regardless.
yes.
Um,
You
so
don't change.
exactly, you don't change. You don't change. That's exactly how it is. And there's a time when I investigated a house that I got a child, which I am very careful with dealing with children in houses because it may not be a child,
Hmm.
if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Right.
So, but I got this child or this person as a child in this house, but he grew up to be a old man and died. So he was there as a child, and I'm sure he's probably somewhere in another dimension as an adult. So I'm wondering if there's probably two different. You know what I mean? Is
You're
it?
hitting it.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes, there is.
right.
Look at it this way, as as you grow up, if there's been either traumatic experience or happy
Yes.
experiences that you just get so overly euphoric about, your life may get broken up into
Yeah.
different segments. And when you die, each one of those segments will be a haunt at different places that was so important in your physical life.
But it's the same person.
But it's the same person
Same
in
person. Yeah.
different stages.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? Because look at us. You know, they try to say that you're crazy and schizophrenic. Okay, every goddamn person on the fucking planet is schizophrenic because look at what runs through your head. Okay, how many of you is in there that's manifesting, and the crosstalk? and all of this. That got hammered into me when I was on the res because they said your spirit body and your energy body and your physical body are going to be talking to you at different stages, sometimes all at once. And you've got to be able to separate it and watch out for the fourth. And the fourth one is that individual that you hide away from everybody. Okay. That is the one that when it gets down to down, this MF is going to come out and take care of business.
Right.
It's the one that's going to make you get up when you have really been knocked down hard and take care of shit. And I will tell you, I have been in those spots being in the service, and especially when it came out when I was 7 years old on the res, I took out 5 kids. This was before I got my martial arts training. It manifested, made me get up, and the next thing they knew, my grandfather was there, my uncle Jake was there, Vinny, he came down to visit. He was one of the local Don's lieutenants, was
Big
there on the
Italian guy.
res, was there on the, yeah, he was a guy.
You said
And
Vinny.
he-
That's what I figured.
And he was ready to jump in, and they held him back because they said he has to do this. They were waiting for when this thing was going to show up, and it did that day. And I went through these kids like a buzzsaw, and when it was over with, I danced around them, shrieking like an eagle, grabbing their hair, doing this like I was scalping them. And if they moved, I kicked them to make sure they stayed down. And when I was done, I stood there like this and just screamed in the air. That's how I got my name, Standing Eagle. But they were waiting to see what the hell was going to manifest. And when this thing did, I didn't feel a thing. It wasn't until like 2 hours later when I'm sitting in circle and they're discussing what to do, going over naming me, and they went off into a room that I started feeling pain. I had bruises all over me. I'd been kicked, I'd been stomped, and I still got up. And they said the thing they saw get up off the ground wasn't me. But they said, my fourth took care of business.
It's like a out of body experience.
Yeah,
Kind of something like that.
yeah. I felt like I was a puppet, but I was going through all of these motions and I was taking them down. And that thing got more precise after I got my martial arts training. At least then I had some kind of control over it.
Oh, wow. That is crazy. Robert, couple more questions, brother, and we're going to get you out of here. You know, one of the biggest, and I really have a hard time believing this, that U.S. history, I think, is wrong, and I think they're dead wrong when they said that that the natives, most of the native tribes was wiped out at some point. And I think I've had this discussion with Joe, and I don't think that is the case. I really don't. I really don't think there is enough. At that time, there was enough manpower of American soldiers to wipe out every Native American tribe in the country. That don't sound logical You know,
Well,
so I
I
have
can tell
to.
you
I have
stuff
to.
that ain't. I can tell you stuff that ain't in the history books, and
And
it
I have
does
to.
not bode well for our government.
Yeah, and I have to look at this logically. You know, and I'm like, man, okay. One, the Native Americans are, you know, I don't think the Native Americans were natives. I don't think they were natives. I thought that, me personally, I'm thinking that they were brought here. And I can't help but think that if they were brought here, they can leave here. And I think that was the choice that was given to some of the Native Americans that chose to stay and chose to go. Because you have to remember, the western part of the United States wasn't even thought of when all this mess was going on with the Native Americans. So how can soldiers go from the East Coast, travel millions of miles to the West Coast without supply lines and all the and I'm not even talking the elements that involved in it. And I'm not, how the hell did they even cross the Mississippi River? And as deep as that thing is, I have to think about all the obstacles that these guys had to go through to even, you know, to make this even feasible, to make this even happen. And I'm like, no, the Hopi Indians, you know, no. I mean, I think your ancestors had a choice either to stay or to go. And I think I'm thinking maybe the American government at that time knew exactly the choices that the Native Americans were given. So they had to come up with a lie to acknowledge this. Because the first thing they're gonna say is in the history books, how did a race of people just disappear? Why?
Okay, here's some things that happened that was not in the history books that's going to be woke education. Okay, the first incident of calculated biological warfare was committed in the United States after
By
the
the
invaders
Charioteers.
got here. Okay, understand, just on the eastern seaboard alone, there was over 60,000 dialects and tribes that we no longer know the names of. Okay. Now we know there were the Seminoles, we know that there were the Cherokee, we know there was the Macmac, the Mohawks, the Iroquois, and so on and so forth. They took, okay, the first colonists coming in were carrying diseases that were never in this genome over here, just the pilgrims. They started killing people just from making contact with them, because any disease you had left traces behind. And just a cold powered by some bullshit that was going on over there that was left over from the plague started killing Native Americans. After they got a foothold here, these motherfuckers literally took blankets, clothing that were from people who had smallpox, and distributed to the tribes all up and down the eastern seaboard because they wanted the land. They knew that they were susceptible, and that's how they dwindled down the numbers. This is a fact. So all of a sudden, you no longer have 60,000 dialects because you've killed them off. But even though they tried to kill them off, there was natural immunity. And you had medicine men and herbs and things that they used that got people back to health. After that didn't work, then they started the rounding up of people and shipping them off to the Oklahoma Territory. That was later. You wound up with tribes that they weren't attacked at the beginning. They were acting like the damn missionaries did over in Europe when Christianity was starting. You send in scouts, see who and what these people are all about, and then you introduce yourself. And after you corrupt them with giving them lanterns and beads and all of this other stuff, you kind of pass yourself off as being good. And then you start whittling them down. Hey, Nancy. Okay, this was all part of their, quote, manifest destiny, because these heathens did not believe in Christianity, and so they can be on the chopping block. We want all of this. And that's what they did. And it was systematic. Nobody transitioned out of here except dying. The things that happened in South America with those tribes that had a chance to spiritually evolve to certain levels and just gone, never got a chance to happen here. But the thing that did happen here was all of the legends of these sky people, the people who walked down out of the sky. Now, remember I told you what happened with me, where they convinced me to go along with them, and as we walked, we were walking up in the air. And that legend was still in the tribes there in Oklahoma. All of the damage that was done to the Native Americans here was done by the government, wiping these people out, wiping us out, because they wanted all of this. And in spite of all their efforts, they couldn't get rid of all of us. You know, this was the biggest mass killing of human beings in history was done here. It was wholesale. And they are never going to actually admit to it. If there was any tribes that actually got a chance to spiritually evolve and to wink out of here, would have been the Northwest tribes, because the French and that they were brutal on them, but not to the extent that it was happening here. This was wholesale. And then, okay, please understand this, because there was a shootout at my great-great-grandmother's property in Oklahoma when they had 6 kids, and they were mixed, and along comes the caravan of the Chrislamics gathering up kids to take them to the school. Okay, do you know that none of the Black Native Americans ever made it there? They were either killed along the way or they were sold into slavery. Okay, free-born Black Native Americans sold into slavery and died there. None of them ever came back.
Are you sure you want
All right, and it's it's just way too much on this line of genocide. Now, what happened when they showed up at my great-great-grandmother's place was that she came to the door with a shotgun. The minister had been there before. He left. He came back again with a sheriff. and they were reconnoitering their property and seeing all of her kids. She had 6 kids, and they were talking to her about taking them to a better school and all this, that, and the other, all of that bullshit, and said that we'll be back. Okay. They came back a few weeks later, but when they did, she met them at the door with a shotgun. Her husband was out at the woodshed, and he had his guns. And when they said, "You're going to step aside because we're going to take your children with us, whether you like it or not," bullshit. Gunfight started. And after it was all over with, they packed up everybody in the wagons, got the horses, put the ones who weren't dead, that were wounded, in the barn, locked the barn, took off. And they left from there, heading for St. Louis. And along the way, picked up other relatives. And we never got tribal roll numbers because they left. And my great-great-grandmother, when she was a slave, she was branded on her left shoulder because she was property.
Yeah.
Okay. Her massa from lower Georgia branded all of his slaves.
Yeah, that's how it was back in the day. They were just they were like cattle.
Yeah.
That's what they were like. Yeah.
Yeah. And the one thing that stood out that I never knew what she was talking about until this special on 60 Minutes, she was always talking about this boat. Okay. She was 4 or 5 years old when she was abducted. And she lived way into her 110s. Okay. She died in 1960. She was describing the Clotilde, the last ship that was on 60 Minutes, that was white, blue, and gold. And she was talking about this ship. You know, it was white, it had blue like the sky, and these ribbons of yellow. It was that boat. They ran the blockade, landed in Alabama, where's Mobile. And when they got everybody off the boat and they got them to the auctioning place, they set fire to the boat, burned it down to the water line. They found the remnants of it, but she was sold and taken to Georgia. And when she escaped, she was retracing her trek that went through the upper panhandle of Florida, trying to get back to where they came ashore. And that's where she was taken in by the Seminoles. And then later on, they were taken up to Oklahoma. But when they were taken up to Oklahoma, there were 2 Trail of Tears. Okay. The second one, they were put on ocean-going barges and taken to Louisiana because they were battle-hardened Native Americans who beat Sheridan's ass. Okay. And when they were not going to march their asses up on the regular Trail of Tears, they put them on these barges, took them to Louisiana, and then took them up through Louisiana into Oklahoma. So
that's still a hard journey. That's a hard journey either way.
Yeah. And the main thing about that, they called it Trail of Tears. The Native Americans weren't crying. It was the white people along the way. They marched from sunup to sundown. And some of the people would rush out to the progression and snatch people and take them home. That's how you wound up with this intermingling of Native Americans and whites along that trail.
Interesting.
You know,
Hey, you
some
know
of
what?
them. Mhm.
Okay, I found that EVP that I got. If you want to hear it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
let me hear it.
I want both of you to hear this. This is what I got 8 years ago in a woman's house. And when you hear it, you're going to be like, either you're going to know what it is or you won't have an idea because I never got an answer after 8 years. Okay.
Play that again.
Yeah, I will. I'll play it again.
I've been playing this puzzle game on my
Shit.
phone. It's called.
It sounds like she's asking for something.
Yeah.
I asked.
I don't. It. Someone told me it was in Latin. I'm not really
No,
sure.
I hear that word. I hear that word. I ask, but I'm not sure what the last.
If you, I could send you guys a file. I could say it's on YouTube. I'll send it to you. I don't know if you have Facebook or not, Robert, but I could send it
Yeah,
both to
yeah.
you guys. And
Just
you,
Robert
yeah.
Standing Eagle Marshall on Facebook, and you can send it to me in Messenger.
Okay, yeah. Because I've never got an answer what that is, if it was good or bad.
Play that one more time.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
it's breaking up.
Well, I'm
These are
sure it
mine.
probably is. I know.
It
Wow.
definitely it sounds Latin to me, but I thought the first word. Have you ever tried to slow it down?
We tried everything. It's not English.
What?
Yeah,
What about some kind of voice analysis?
Yeah. That thing needs to be run through some voice analysis software.
I don't have
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. You may have it. I do not. Yeah, but I've never got an answer what it could be or where it's from. Someone told me it was Latin.
You know what? God damn it. I wonder what, if it's Latin, what dialect it is. I mean, because there's different dialects of Latin.
Yeah.
That people
I could not
speak.
tell you. But I can send
And
it
you
to both
could
of you. You got an idea. Throw me a
Yeah.
message, man.
That's a head scratcher. Yep.
It was crazy. This was in a woman's house. I got over 3 different digital voice recorders. This is the same house that they tried to describe. They tried to identify themselves as 3 different entities.
Mm-hmm. A trickster.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it sounds, to me, it sounds like a woman.
Yeah, it sounds like
But
a woman. It sounds like a woman, but who knows?
It doesn't have that masculine feel of a man to it.
Yeah. If you, Joe, if you ever come across some things of a Native American vein, and look up what a Wendigo is as a shapeshifter.
Sure. Yeah, I know what a Wendigo is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Get the get the hell out of there.
Well, and I talked to a demonologist because we thought it was something bad because something tried to disguise itself a few times. And this demonologist told me it's not human. You need to go back in there and you need to draw it out. And I never got that again.
See, but the thing is, are you able? See, certain people aren't just capable of drawing things out. You can antagonize it, but actually, you don't want to antagonize because that's not what we do.
No.
No.
He just told me he gave me a set of questions like what color is the grass? What color is the sky? Can you feel you know, a pillow or something? It wasn't anything to where I'm going to go in there and I'm going to destroy myself over something.
Just trying to figure out what it is.
Yeah. And he told me it wasn't human. You never got an answer, got nothing. You never got it again. He said either it moved on or it's just not human. It's not there.
You know, we got, as paranormal investigators, we got to be real careful when we use that word. Not human. You know, because
That's coming from a demonologist. That's not coming from me now.
Yeah, but you know, we need to be careful.
Well, you
Because
never
we-
know what it is you're going to run across.
Yeah.
And you also have to do things to protect yourself and to degauss yourself after every job you do. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, believe it or not, the only thing that you need to do to keep with you at all times is the regular rock salt that you use, like if you're going to make ice cream or something like that. It's the Morton salt that comes in a red and black box. Put that in a container that you can either put your feet in or put your hands in after you're getting ready to leave from there.
Yeah.
Once you've finished with that, you go degauss yourself because you will have stuff kind of attached to you. Okay.
I get what you're saying. Absolutely.
Now,
Take sage, burn it, and run it over your body like that from feet to head.
And these people never, the property owners never reached back out to you for anything.
She moved out. I went back the second time. She had her boxes packed. She moved out. She was a renter. She was a renter. And I never heard from her again.
Shit. I don't blame her.
She had like Ouija boards in there and shit and all kinds of different stuff. So she said she didn't at the time. She did. She did this all to herself.
Yeah. Dude, a Ouija board is not a toy.
I know it.
God damn. I've said this to so many people. And they scoff at you. And then what was that you told me about a Ouija board? And I shouldn't have done what? Did you provoke something? Well, I kind of got in a heat, kind of a discussion. You yelled at it, didn't you? Yeah.
That or they didn't close it.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
That or they didn't.
Once they see that light, it's drawn all. No telling what it's drawing in.
Yeah. It's just something about it. There's just something about it. And there was this one house that was in California that they burned it down. It was in Fontana, California, when I was stationed out there. Somebody had under the carpet was a giant-sized Ouija board. They turned the goddamn house into a Ouija board platform. Jesus. And there was all kinds of shit. They don't understand it, but somehow the house caught on fire and burned down.
Yeah, there's people that love that shit, and they like the look of it and everything like that, but they don't understand the damage that it could do to a person.
The biggest thing is how in the fuck were they using it? Was a person being used as the
Who knows, man? I've been in multiple places where I had to get rid of a Ouija board out of their house. Out of a house.
you know,
Hey,
and
I need
people
you to come
are
to this house to
listening
get this
to us
Ouija
and think
board
we're
out.
kidding.
Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, I know. That's fine. I mean, you can't make them believe you, you know. But I've been to a few houses where we had to take Ouija boards out of a house because they've been in there since the 60s or they've been there longer than that. So we give it to people that know how to use a Ouija board, capable people. Here, I don't want this thing. It's yours now. And they're all excited about it. But these people know how to work a Ouija board. They know what the consequences are. It's not just like, I'm not just going to hand it to some kid. Here you go, kid. Here's a game. I'm not doing that.
Believe it or not, with semi-metaphysical objects, you need to set parameters,
Yep.
guardrails, understandings. Okay. I'm only using you for fun. Don't pull any funny business on me. Okay. Because if you do, I will burn you down. It may be as simple as that.
Yeah, Milton
Yeah,
Bradley.
yeah. Somebody said, the Ouija is not a joke.
Yeah. Yeah, Milton Bradley came out Ouija boards for kids.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. What are you doing?
Hey, boy, Toys R Us. Hey, Toys R Us had a damn whole aisle full of them.
Yeah. It's a popular thing. People see that on TV or they see it somewhere or whatever, and they gotta have one.
Yeah, and it's like, nah, that ain't gonna happen to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens to
man.
That happens to other people. Like you're texting driving down the highway, or you're on your laptop while you're driving down the freeway on your lap, steering with your knees. I'm not kidding. I've seen this. And typing and are you insane?
Yeah.
And one of my neighbors had this thing of do you believe in Jesus? Keep texting so you can meet him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like the lady said, it's like close your session. There's people that mess with Ouija boards that do not know how to close sessions.
No,
they don't know how to close them. They just leave it alone.
We do not teach
they leave it open.
the metaphysical anymore. Why? Because it's been demonized by the Chrislamics, by the church, which knows all about the shit. Yet at the same time, everything gets demonized. It can be less demonized when people are educated in what the hell is out here. Okay? I've got a leg up on most people because mine started when I was a child and just versed in it as I grew up. The things that you do, the things you don't do, the things that under no circumstances do you do unless you want to rain down hell. Now, in actuality, heaven and hell does not exist, but you get the picture. If there's something that you've got to do that is going to wipe the slate clean, then you do this, but understand the consequences of what it is you're opening up.
Yeah,
there's no need to be a hero.
Yeah.
Thank you, Christy.
Yeah. And people have to understand we're not there to like experienced investigators. We're not there to make it worse. We're there to help you deal with what you have because we've seen it. We've
I'm
been
not there to
through it.
clean up your shit, man. I don't clean up nobody else's shit.
Well, I'm talking about home investigations. Home
Yeah,
investigations.
that's what I'm talking about.
When they call you out to this house to help you, they need help because there's something going on in their house. You try the best way to figure out why this is happening. Are they autistic? Do they have anxiety? Do they have depression? Do they have this, that, this, or whatever? You have to ask those questions to actually get an answer why something is there. Because people with terrible spirits that's inside their own body can manifest their own to a spirit to be just like them.
Yep.
Yeah. And the best
Just
thing
like them.
and the best thing about it is, which I've come in a case where 85% of the people just aren't telling the truth of what
No,
they've
they're
done.
not going to tell you the truth. No, they're not going to tell you the
They're
truth.
not gonna tell you the truth. They're
Yeah.
gonna like, oh yeah, this and that, but you go look up on the cabinet, up on the carpet of a rug, and you, like you say, Joe, you got this jumbo-sized Ouija board just up under there,
Robert
and I'm
said
like,
that, yeah.
what the fuck? Well, Robert, or
Yeah, Robert said that. Yeah, Robert said
Yeah.
that he pulled up the carpet and gigantic
Yeah.
Ouija board. Yeah.
They
and what the hell,
installed,
dude?
they meticulously put this thing on the floor. It wasn't painted, it was burned in. Like somebody meticulously with a wood burner or whatever put this damn thing in the floor, which meant the whole damn house. Okay?
Yeah.
You're using a wood burner, intent and focus. We're gonna
Who
do some shit here.
Who does that?
They're crazy people, man. You got people all the time out there doing shit that. I mean, I've been in houses where I'm like, why did you do that? What are you doing? No common sense.
Yeah,
Absolutely no common sense.
Another house in Virginia was down in the basement of this old mansion. Somebody had etched a upside down star with a circle and the points where you would stand etched into the concrete. And then they had this giant rug over it. I know what these people were doing. They were having ceremony down in the basement.
Seances.
Now, whether it was good or bad, whatever your intent, but while I was down there, it was calm. So I knew they had not opened a portal to some weird ass shit. However, who knows what would happen later. So I'm sorry, I kind of sabotaged some I kind of sabotaged some shit because I blessed the corners and I stuck it in the end of the concrete around the basement. I stuck crystals in the corners. So nothing's getting out of there. You can raise hell, but nothing's gonna get out of there. Because I know how to do that shit.
Yeah, man. That's crazy. People
Well,
out
hey,
there don't know what
Hey Terry, did I?
Yes.
Were you the one that I told about the kid where his parents, their home was built on a Native American burial ground?
Yeah. You told me about that one.
Yeah, that was one of the most interesting ones I'd done in my life because here there's burial grounds everywhere. Nobody reports it because if you report you dug up bones, you have to stop. The university gets in on it, the government gets on it, and whatever you're building gets delayed. So they just shuffle it away. Well, they found bones when they built this damn house, but they didn't find the main plot. Okay? And that was the one where their dogs, they had a Doberman Pinscher and a Labrador, and they dug till they had bloodied their paws, and they dug up some artifacts. First, it was some pottery, then it was the leather of whatever they were wearing, even though it was hundreds of years old, did not disintegrate. And why it didn't disintegrate is because it was the burial mound of a medicine man. So the dog dug up bones. That freaked out, the owners of the house. But now their 5-year-old son, who was now not just talking English, he was talking an old Pueblo language.
Wow.
The spirit
had
of
an
that
attachment.
medicine man, the spirit of the medicine man adopted the boy because the boy could see him. When he was outside playing and dancing around and doing all of this, he was dancing with him. That was the damnedest one I had ever worked on. And I tried to tell them, I can't exorcise him. Okay? That can't be done. He is a cardinal spirit. That means this is his place forever. Now, what you can do is make peace with knowing that your son is made contact with a being that likes him. He's teaching him his language. He's teaching things that he did, and he's a medicine man. You have no problems. 2 weeks later, they packed up, put the house up for sale, and went back east.
That don't solve the problem.
The problem for them now is he went with them.
Exactly. It doesn't solve the problem.
That is that child's companion till he dies.
Yep.
And it was the most beautiful thing to see that happen. People talk about this shit, but when you see it, and I wasn't afraid, because I stood there and I watched what they were doing, because occasionally I could see him. Usually I can see the spirits, bam, right off the bat. Him, it was like I had to get used to him, and it only took like a couple of hours, and it was like, no, he isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not, saying do your thing, dissolve him, kick him out of here. No,
don't work like that.
No,
don't work.
I said, this ain't Hollywood, people. This ain't Hollywood. You have got a spirit here that is benign, and you just got to deal with it. You just got to live with it.
Give it offerings. Give it offerings and different stuff like that.
His greatest joy was this boy being able to see him and interact with him. And put it this way, he now has another son. Even though he's crossed over, he has an adopted son.
My biggest question at a certain point, when this kid grows up and gets everyday life going on, will that continue to happen, or will he go on and find somebody else?
It can, as long as, and unfortunately the parents aren't that open-minded. Okay, the thing that saved me with what it is that I do is that I grew up in a family that understood what the hell was going on. If not, I could have been put in an institution somewhere. And this is the fine line that this child is going to go on, because unfortunately, they may diagnose him as paranoid schizophrenic. And it's no such thing.
Yeah, like they did back in the 30s and 40s with all these locations where all these kids are at. Nothing wrong with them. They, they're seeing things that other people can see, and they're explaining them. Hey, I see this guy, and they think you're nuts. So
Well, the old people didn't believe in that anyways. They didn't believe in that shit. They told you there's nothing there. Don't worry about it. You're all right. But when you start getting into this field and you get educated on stuff and you pay attention, the thing is you have to pay attention to what you are doing while you're investigating. You gotta your sight, your ears, your hearing, the smells, different stuff like that. You pay attention to what's going on every time and stay grounded. And you got to learn what you're doing when you investigate the paranormal. Because if you don't, you're going to get caught up. You're going to get caught up. And it's crazy.
Sometimes you get caught up in a situation. It can be good. It can be bad. It can be horrible.
Well, most of the times it's bad, especially if they follow you home. They follow you home. You don't want that shit in your house. Don't get me wrong. I've been followed home before. No question about it. I've seen it in my little studio I got here. I've seen it quite a few times. But they end up leaving, or they could still be here. I'm not really sure, but it's never been anything bad because I know how to stay grounded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And another thing to keep you grounded so that you don't have to keep your mind on it all the time is for you to have a piece of hematite with you, putting it around your neck, just on a shoestring helps a lot. The thing with the salt, because you can be cognizant of as much as you want, but then you have those periods where your mind is wandering and it don't hurt, because hematite is a damn good shield. When the hematite has been overwhelmed, it'll break, and that's when okay, I need another one. When you get back from a job, stick it in the salt. That's all. Keep a crystal in your pocket. Just an ordinary quartz crystal, okay? Because that is for working with your aura like a power source. I work with crystals and stones and different metals for the properties that they give you. And I also build talismans for people depending on what it is that they're doing and stuff that they don't even know they've come in contact with.
Exactly. All right, guys. Well, hey, man, we're going on 2 hours and 37 minutes. Mr. Robert, tell the world how to get a hold of you, brother.
How can people get a hold of you?
Oh, just look up my name, Robert Standing Eagle Marshall, on Facebook.
There you go. Hey, man, if you guys need some advice, or you guys want to just chill and talk, this is your man to talk to you, man. He's like a square. He's been to every parts of it. He can tell you everything that you ever probably want to know. Whether you believe him or not, that's up to you to decide. But man, Robert, it has been a pleasure speaking with you.
I ain't here to justify myself, people.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I don't gotta.
Hey.
You ask me a question.
Right. He's gonna tell you.
I'll tell you.
And
if I don't, and if I don't, then I'll find out.
I'll send you guys that video tonight over Facebook, over Messenger.
Okay.
And
tell me what you guys think, man. I'm still puzzled by it. I don't. Could it be Native American? It could be. I'm not really sure. Who knows?
It don't sound Native. It don't sound Native American to me.
It wasn't coming in clear over here.
Well, you'll hear it when I send you the video. Yeah. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's like one of those things. That's one EVP, I'd throw my hands up and I'm like, I don't know what the hell this is.
Mm-hmm.
It's been going on for 8
Wow,
years.
8 years.
It'd be interesting. All right, guys. Hey, man, I appreciate you guys chatting with me tonight, man. Hopefully we can do it again. Robert, outstanding guy, man. I appreciate you joining me. Joe, like always, brother, I appreciate you having on the show, man.
It was fun.
Tomorrow, man, yeah, it's fun. Tomorrow I'm in Iowa. So wish me luck there in the heartland of America. See what those guys are talking about. This is Terry with NSPS. Iowa. Yeah.
I've been to Iowa.
Did I say that right?
Job.
Yeah, I'm in Iowa.
Yeah, when I was in the service.
Hey,
Iowa's
there ain't nothing out there. Ain't nothing out there, but hey, I wish you guys the best of luck, man. This is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same channel. Hopefully the same people. In the meantime, peace.
Peace.
You guys have a good night now.
Later.
Later, bro.
Fold under pressure till I diamond. Hurt main bold measure, never lying. New cat in the jungle, putting her hurt and need a muzzle. New raps in a hustle, leave them clueless like a puzzle. Time to break, as the record set, I'm back. I'm never late, shining, never let no track defeat the odds. As long as I am standing, it's brawl of the gods when you know my punch is landing. This time I'm letting loose, having fun like the carnival. Man, I let you choose, want this beef, I'm a carnivore. In the streets, I was on a stroll, I was working, cooking up every day like a stove. I'm a stove, heaters like a stove top, hot to the touch. Can't handle what I brought, having rappers for my lunch. Hanging in a parking lot of another saver line. Wonder if I'm broken eye, hoping that my music pop. I'm taking off and you know there's no time to flake. They're gonna have to put me down in an early grave, cause you know that I'll be making